Welcome to WIN with Richardson Richardson. What's important now? Success in business most often comes down to hard work, not by silver bullets and quick fixes. It's knowing where to focus that hard work that's key to winning. Join sales prospecting expert and 3-time seven-figure business founder Carrie Richardson and managing partner of R&R Consulting and former owner of W.I.N Technologies, Ian Richardson, for radical honesty regarding strategic planning, accountability, and execution that will get you the systematic results you're working toward. Let's get into today's episode. Thought leader and your host, Ian Richardson.
Hello and welcome to WIN. I'm Ian Richardson, your host from Richardson Richardson Consulting, and today I'm joined by my friend Laura Biggerstaff over at IRON ELK. Laura, how are you today?
I'm doing just great. It's nice to see you.
Nice to see you too. Laura is the owner of IRON ELK, which is a family-owned safety products company headquartered in Greer, South Carolina. IRON ELK recognizes that when it comes to safety apparel, one size does not fit all. Following her successful career in the manufacture of protective apparel, Laura launched her own business in 2016 in the field of safety in the workplace. There was a need in the industry to have safety apparel that fits both men and women. IRON ELK has partnered with manufacturers that have expanded their safety apparel to include sizing for women, and they're very proud to be a certified women-owned small business, or WBENC. A huge supporter of women in the trades, Laura offers her time to several groups that support the importance of encouraging young women to take on non-traditional roles. She's the co-founder of Women Confidence Builders in the upstate of South Carolina. We'll talk about that a little bit later in the show. Her mission is to educate, mentor, discipline, and empower women and girls while encouraging their growth and building confidence. Laura, people want to know, I'm out of Michigan. It's freezing cold here today. What's the weather like in South Carolina?
We have a beautiful sunny day today. It's about 60 degrees and the sun is shining through.
Well, I will see you in 3 hours as soon as I can get down to the airport because it is maybe like 6 degrees here. So
Goodness.
that's a pretty dramatic difference.
Yes, it is.
So we always follow a format on WIN. This is an entrepreneurial podcast, and we talk about entrepreneurial items. And the 3 things that every entrepreneur can always talk about is challenges, achievements, and opportunities, specifically what's going on in their business. And Laura, when we were talking before the show, you have a very specific focus that you and your team at IRON ELK are working on. And that's making sure that safety is out not only for men, but for women when it comes to apparel. There aren't that many manufacturers in the space that are creating apparel for women, and that's a pretty big risk. If a woman's wearing my coat here, if the arms are too long, that could get caught in equipment. It could create a risk on the job site, and someone could get hurt. So talk to us about what you and your team have been doing to create awareness for women across the country around the resources you guys can provide.
Well, we've done a lot of listening. And that's how we narrowed our business profile to where it is today, to help women know that there are options out there for safety apparel. I was at a meeting about 2 years ago, and there was a lady I was introduced to, and she was in the construction business, and she said, "Why don't they make apparel, safety apparel for women?" And yeah, a little light shined in my head, and I went back to my house and did a little bit of research, and I had trouble finding that too. And I thought, well, maybe that's something that we can work on. So I developed partnerships with manufacturers that are really on the ball when it comes to this, and started to see what items they had to offer, and then I just put it all into one place with IRON ELK, and just making sure that that women in the construction industry or electrical industry or whatever trade they're in, that there is safety apparel out there that will fit them. There was not an option for women out there for their safety apparel. So I thought it would be great to partner with these manufacturers so that we could have the products all in one spot. So the women in these trades could have a place to go and find protective apparel that fits from all the way from the helmets down to the feet. I've recently partnered with a company called Xena Workwear, and they have the most fashionable steel-toed boots you can imagine. That's getting a real buzz as well because these ladies have been wearing steel-toed boots that look like a man's boot, and we want women to feel positive and confident when they go out on their job site. They've got enough going on being a woman on a male-dominated industry anyway. So if it helps them with their confidence, that's what we want to do.
Yeah, that actually, one of the things you mentioned there really resonates home. I haven't worked professionally in the skilled trades, but when I was going through school, I ran through painting and things like that. But thinking about the positivity that comes and the confidence that comes to someone when they're just wearing clothes that fit. I lost quite a bit of weight about 3 years ago on advice of my healthcare practitioner. My doctor said, "Hey, you got to get this under control." And when I did that, my whole wardrobe was for an Ian that was 60 pounds heavier.
Mm-hmm.
And that really was almost damaging to get dressed every day wearing hey, it looks like I'm wearing your dad's clothes, right?
Exactly.
It looks like you're a kid playing dress up, and that doesn't make you feel confident. It doesn't make you feel professional. And it's difficult to be in a room with other professionals, regardless of what room you're in.
Exactly.
Because you're not doing that. So that's such an impactful thing. How's the community responding to the increased access that you and your team at IRON ELK are creating?
It has opened up a whole new world. We're getting so many requests for speaking engagements, podcasts, articles. It's something that hasn't really been addressed before. So it's quite the hot topic, and it's doing good for the people that purchase from IRON ELK. It helps them with their confidence and to have a resource where they can, find things that will fit them and look really nice on them. Women's cuts, say a high visibility jacket that would typically be huge on a woman and very bulky and hard to work in. Now they have the option of getting a jacket that has been tailored to a woman's body.
Mm-hmm.
And, we have the tagline, one size does not fit all. And it's the truth. It's never been more true. And then you add the safety factor to that and the fact that they will be happy to wear this safety apparel. It's just a win-win for the industry, the construction industry or electrical, any kind of trades industry. We're happy to support.
I love that company mission on making an impact. That just really, really resonates home to where everybody in the equation wins. That's just awesome. And something you said makes me want to focus on the next segment of our show. You were mentioning about how this is creating some buzz and that there's been a lot of reach out from the industry to learn more, to get more information. And one of those was that, Laura, you personally were asked to speak at the International Conference in New Orleans, Louisiana for Procore, which is a construction-based software. It's a software used in the construction industry. Talk a little bit about that talk and how it's helped move the industry forward and the impact that those sorts of opportunities are having on you and the team at IRON.
That was such a great opportunity, and I was very honored to be asked. The panel was called Women Moving the Trades Forward. And that in itself, being associated with that subject line was an honor for me. I guess since It hasn't been talked about much. It's the need has been there, but there's really not been anybody to really get it going. And so there is interest now. So it was a great opportunity for me to speak uh, with there were 3,500 people at this conference, and
Wow.
I actually did get to meet the owner of Procore. His name is Tui, and I briefly told him what we did, and he says, "Well, there aren't any safety companies out there that sell women's apparel." I said, "Well, there is now," and he loved it. He offered to share my information on his social media, which I look forward to. It was just a great event, and people were excited about what I had to say, and we had a follow up meeting that day, and a gentleman spent a good hour with me talking about and he's an instructor and training his he's an electrical instructor, training his team to go to the classes and what they need to wear and how they need to protect themselves. And he says there's just nothing there for his female students. And so we've since connected, and going to make sure that the students that are there for his training are at least going to know about us, so that they'll have a resource.
That's awesome. It's everything you said just resonates so hard. I've done some speaking engagements. My background before Richardson Richardson was in the technology space, and a similar thing. I had been asked to speak at a couple of different shows, and one of the things that bubbles up is just how often we forget that all of us entrepreneurs, hey, we're people, we're there, we're trying to all make that difference, make that impact. And I've yet to meet an entrepreneur who doesn't meet another entrepreneur and hear their story and say, just, wow, that's awesome. How can I help? It's such a giving group of individuals, because all of us start a business, but one, we're all just a teeny tiny little bit crazy. But two, it's hey, we see a need, and there's a way to make a difference. Let's go do that. And as entrepreneurs who recognize needs, it's like a lightning bolt. When you and I started talking before the show, I said, I never even thought about that. But now that I know about the need, it won't ever leave my head. It's hey, this is a problem out there that we need to solve.
Exactly.
It's so awesome to hear that there's the exposure happening, which can help that out. For those of you who are listening, ironelk.com, if you'd like to learn more about that organization, we'll throw that in there. It's in the show notes, but I wanted to call that out right now, that you can head over to Laura's website and get those resources if you're in the skilled trade field, or if you have someone there. So, Laura, looking ahead into the future, and this is always one of my favorite parts of the show is asking that question of, okay, well, what's next? And everybody's got a what's next. And you and I were talking, there's a couple of things that you mentioned around Iron Elk that you're working on. One is that there's this passion you have around supporting young men and women into the trades and growing the trades. We've got that huge skills deficit that was really, people were talking about it before COVID. And then when COVID hit, I don't know anyone who doesn't say, oh yeah, no, we need more people in the skills trades. Like that is a fact that has been being beaten. That drum's been beaten for a while, but now people are aware. But you're focusing on removing that stigma around the industry. There's like a little bit of stigma in the skills trades. I'm in construction, I'm an electrician, I'm a plumber, where sometimes people can go, oh, and have a somewhat negative or deprecatory reaction, which isn't appropriate. So talk to us about how you're removing that stigma and helping trade school graduates get a leg up after graduation. But also tell us a little bit about this idea that you have around business partnerships with other women-focused organizations.
Wonderful. Yes. The stigma is out there.
Mm-hmm.
I want to make sure that people know that a job in the trades is extremely rewarding. It's a great career. You work hard. you're using your hands, your mind, and it's just a great feeling to be able to work and make things appear, buildings, solve problems within construction, or turn on the electric unit, or whatever it might be. It's just a great career, and it's something that I wish I had more training in, but I don't. But I know people who have, and they are loving their career. So one of the things I would like to do to help uh, young people in the trades is that when they graduate from their trade schools, I really, really would like to be able to give them a set of safety apparel from top to bottom. If it's a construction graduate, I'd like to have a helmet, safety glasses, earmuffs, safety vests, shirt, jeans, or casual pants, and steel toe boots. And if it's another industry, I would provide for them whatever it was that they need for their jobs. And I'd like to be there right at the end of that graduation stage with a box full of safety apparel for them. It's just one less thing they have to worry about when they go to an interview. Sometimes you have to show up on site for an interview, and you won't have the safety gear to even be allowed on the site. This is just one more thing to help these young folks get excited and feel proud and go out and get that job.
Yeah, it's like that's like walking into the job site fully kitted out in safety gear is the equivalent of walking into your interview at the accountant's office in your suit and tie, right? Like, you need to have that suit and tie to go into the accountant's office. You need to have that safety apparel to go into the work site.
Correct.
So you're giving them their business, so to speak.
That's the goal.
That's an awesome, that's like an incredible gift and focus on paying it forward, because with that, I mean, hey, Iron Elk kitted me out right in there. That's a raving fan right there, right off the bat. But it's creating a raving fan through making an impact. I love that.
It's an honor.
Oh yeah, no, 100%. Talk to us about you'd also mentioned that there's a focus on partnerships, and this really rings home for me. Before Richardson Richardson, I ran an IT company, and I always said, hey, one of our strategies here is to be a partner of choice with other organizations that we use to support our customers, support our clients. Talk to us about this partnership strategy that you're pursuing with other women-focused businesses.
I think the biggest impact that we could have is all work together. Mm-hmm. And other companies that have the same target market that I have, why wouldn't we work together? We can reach more people. We can provide more support for the folks out there if we kind of partner together. So I'm looking for companies that have the same target market, who have a passion to help, to work together to build something pretty big, and everybody benefits from that.
I love that. The rising tide truly raises all the boats in the ocean. So there's one other thing that I absolutely will not let us leave this episode without you sharing some information on. We had mentioned it at the top, but you're not only running Iron Elk full time, you have this community focus on giving back. Tell us a bit about Women Confidence Builders, the nonprofit that you're running, and what the impact of that organization is going to be.
I think that impact is going to be absolutely phenomenal. It's already proved to be, within 1 year, phenomenal. Christy Powell with 84 Lumber and I became friends a couple of years ago, and over coffee and sharing our life stories, we realized that we both have a passion to help people and to let people know that they're loved, and work together. Always the hashtag better together comes to mind in my posts on LinkedIn. So we started thinking about how could we help these young women and young men feel confident and less scared to go out and get the job that they might be wanting to, be it construction, electrical, or whatever. And so we started having a luncheon based in Greenville, South Carolina. We invited 20 people to the first luncheon, and it ended up being 50 people. The second luncheon, we had 130 people. The third luncheon, we had 130 people, but it sold out 2 weeks before. And our very last luncheon, we had 350 people. We were able to give away 11 scholarships to high school seniors, and we also set up a galleria outside of the luncheon presentation of women-owned small businesses and minority businesses and nonprofits for them to get their word out. And it has just skyrocketed. The support we have from men and women in the upstate has just been incredible. And now what's coming from that is the support of big businesses. Mm-hmm. And it's just going to grow. We want to get into the high schools, the 7th and 8th grade levels, and let them actually see what somebody going out on a construction site looks like. Christy Powell's background is in construction. She works for 84 Lumber. And she, wouldn't it be cool if she put on her helmet and a safety vest and had her boots on and actually spoke to these kids? Mm-hmm. Me, on the other hand, I'll go, help build confidence as well. So that's kind of the future. That is also a full-time job. So I work a lot, but it is so worth it. When we have our luncheons, we have the high school students come as well, and their faces just make it all worthwhile. They feel like they can absolutely accomplish anything they want to do. And you never know. This one luncheon, we had our lieutenant governor there, and a 15-year-old student was able to sit right beside the lieutenant governor. And it's just wonderful to see. I'm passionate about it. So is Christy. And we have Angela Gardner, who also, they're doing something spectacular too. And they have a podcast called Women Talk Construction. And the three of us get together and we work nonstop. How can we help? How can we help? How can we get the word out? So it is all really, really exciting. And it just makes us happy.
That is absolutely outstanding. And to hear those luncheon numbers, like, hey, we'll do 20 here. Oh, it's 50. Hey, there's 50 on. Now it's 100, 300 plus people in a room. Those events are good. Those event staff are going to love you because it's like, you know how to make it rain there. But dude, what an awesome way to spread the word about the trades, to help people understand what they can do and how they can build confidence and how they can show up and capture those opportunities. It's such a needed impact in today's world. That's awesome. And people can learn more by going to the website, right? Which is Women Confidence Builders, all one word, no space.com. They can go there. They can learn more. They can learn how they can get involved and help support the organization through that.
Absolutely. One of the favorite things about these luncheons is the speakers that we have attend are very well known in the community, but we ask them specifically not to talk about their business or their products. We want them to talk about their journey. And we have had the president of the Chamber of Commerce there one time who got up there and said, "I've never been so intimidated in my life." And he said, "I'm going to share with you that when I was young, I had a stutter." And he said, "I would sit in front of a mirror with marbles in my mouth and practice over and over how to speak." Those are the kinds of stories that we want these kids to hear, because it's a ray of hope and you can overcome the obstacles. So it's very exciting for us.
Oh, that's awesome. Laura, I super appreciate you taking some time out of your day to come and share your story, share about Iron Elk and Women Confidence Builders to the audience of WIN. If you're interested in Iron Elk, ironelk.com will get you over there. WomenConfidenceBuilders.com will take you to that organization. We'll link to both of those in the show notes. We'll make sure that you can connect with Laura. She's active on LinkedIn. And and be able to form that connection and also be able to help impact the skilled trades industry and recruit more women into that industry. Laura, thank you so much for taking the time today.
It has been a pleasure. I appreciate what you're doing as well.
Oh, thank you so much. If you're interested in learning more about Richardson Richardson, you can visit our website at orndar.consulting. There we've got blogs, tools, and white papers you can use in your organization, previous case studies, and all of our content, including episodes of WIN. I'm Ian Richardson. You can find me on LinkedIn. I'm quite active on that platform. And if you're interested in joining us on WIN, send me a DM over there and it'll help get you started. Until next time, take it easy.